to make some money and to give myself some security and my family some security. I knew what it was to be out of work. I knew what it was to be homeless. I knew what it was to be alone. I understood the fear of being sick and not having enough money to pay for medical care. I understand the anxiety of a parent who wants to provide for their children and is wondering how. I understand all those things. I've lived them. And as a result, I do the best I can to reach out and help. Habitat for Humanity came about by an extraordinary piece of luck, based on bad luck. I was on the set shooting this series I'm in, and I felt terrible pain. And in fact, I lay down on the floor of the studio. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a cramp. I thought it was a bad muscle. And then it got worse and worse, and somebody said kidney stone. I had kidney stone 20 years ago, so I remembered the pain, and I thought, this is what it is. It's a kidney stone.
Rescue 17 en route. Show me 3 out.
And they sent for an ambulance and took me immediately to the hospital.
What did you learn from your 3 marriages to Gloria Rent, Mark Lafferty, and Nerine Kidd?
What did I learn? I learned that if you're imperfect, you go through life trying to make yourself more perfect. And that applies to marriages. I think I was very young when I first got married. It was a series of learning experiences. All of my marriages were for some length of time. They weren't quick marriages. They were filled with responsibility and love and all those things that just didn't work out for a variety of reasons.
Are you difficult as a husband?
I tell my wife, Elizabeth, that I'm the ideal husband.
And she believes it?
On various occasions.
Have you got a famous poker face?
I have a famous poker face. I show no emotion, and I lose constantly. And inside, I'm dying, because I'm thinking if I have a poker face, nobody can tell what my hand is. But apparently, some people do.
You played on the World Poker Tour in the Hollywood Home Games.
Right. And I lost. I was taught by the best poker experts on how to play poker. Now, I've known how to play poker a good part of my life. You know, half a dozen rules, this beats this beats that. That isn't poker. Subtlety of poker is the ability to gamble, to bid. Now, if you have a hand, and I have a hand, and I'm looking you in the eye, I have to figure out somehow whether your hand is better than mine or not, whether I can beat you. And the only communication you and I have is by the bidding. You're going to bid $2? I wonder if I should bid $3. That's the way to play poker. You also play the percentages, okay? So all this they were teaching me before this poker tournament. Then I went into the poker tournament. They said, first of all, keep your mouth shut. Secondly, don't say anything. You have a poker face. Thirdly, be careful the way you bet. And they gave me all these rules, okay? So now I'm sitting at a poker table for 10, and they said, please try. I was there for 3 days. They said, please try, and they gave me $5,000. And all this was for charity. And they said, please try and stay in the game at least a day. I said, what are you talking about? I'm going to win. So I sat down, and there was a table of 10. And there was one loudmouth, ugly man who he was talking all the time. And said, oh, I got a great hand, or I haven't got a hand. And he was talking, and he broke every single one of the rules that these top professionals had taught me an hour earlier. And I thought, what a fool this man is. And finally, it came down to where I had a great hand, and I bid my entire $5,000 because I had a great hand. And he was the only guy that stayed in the game, bidding against me. And then the last card was laid down, and it was an ace. And I thought, I had 2 kings, and I put down mine. I thought I'd won. And he put down his hand, and he had won based on the last card, because he had an ace in his hand. He picked up an ace, so he had 2 aces, and he beat me, because 2 aces beat 2 kings. Oh. He broke every rule. And I thought, this fool has broken every rule. He doesn't know anything about poker. Turns out, he was the world champion poker player. Every rule that the guys had taught me, he broke and won. That's my poker face.
To be addressed for more than 40 years as Captain Kirk, does it sometimes get on your week?
Only if it's announced that my table is ready.
In the restaurant?
Right.
Oh, fine.
That would
everybody knows.
Yeah, right.
There.
That would be awful.
Yeah.
No. If the meaning of your question is Star Trek gotten in my way?